I was breastfeeding my sons when I heard his voice outside. 3 years. 3 years I'd been hiding. My hands started shaking. The twins. They looked just like him. Dark hair. Sharp eyes. Anyone could see it. I pressed them closer to my chest and held my breath. He'd crossed an ocean to find me, and now, he was standing at my door. How do you hide 2 babies from the most dangerous man in Seoul? I came to Seoul because I wanted adventure. I was 24, freshly trained, and tired of the same hospital shifts in Lagos. When the private clinic offered me a contract, I didn't hesitate. Seoul felt like a dream. Neon lights, fast trains. People who moved like the city had a heartbeat of its own. The clinic was luxury. We treated politicians, celebrities, people who paid in cash and never asked for receipts. That's where I met him. Minho walked in one night with a knife wound across his ribs. No explanation. No fear in his eyes. Just cold silence. "Stitch it," he said in English, his accent thick but clear. I should have been terrified. I should have called someone. But my hands moved on their own, cleaning the wound, threading the needle. He didn't flinch. Not once. "You're good," he said when I finished. "You're lucky," I replied. He smiled. It was the kind of smile that made my stomach flip. That was the beginning. He came back. Again and again. Sometimes with injuries. Sometimes just to see me. "Why do you keep coming here?" I asked one night. "Because you don't ask questions," he said. But I wanted to. I wanted to ask everything. His name was Minho. I learned that much. I learned he was powerful, feared, connected to people who made other people disappear. And I learned he had a fiancée. Her name was Haiwan. Beautiful, polished, from a family just as dangerous as his. "It's business," he told me one night when I finally asked. "Not love." "Then why her?" "Because that's how my world works." I should have walked away. I should have quit the clinic, bought a ticket home, forgotten his face. But I didn't. Because when he touched me, I felt alive. We met in secret. Hotel rooms. His car parked in shadows. Moments stolen between his meetings and my shifts. He told me things he shouldn't have. About his life. About the weight of his name. About how he'd been born into violence and couldn't escape it. "I don't want you in this," he said one night, his forehead pressed against mine. "Then let me go," I whispered. He didn't. And I didn't want him to. For 6 months we lived in that impossible space, loving each other in the dark, pretending the rest of the world didn't exist. But it did, and it was waiting. I started noticing the cars outside my apartment, the men who watched too long. I told myself it was paranoia, but deep down, I knew. Someone was following me. I missed my period. Then I missed another. I sat on the bathroom floor of my tiny apartment, staring at 2 pink lines, and my entire world collapsed. Pregnant. I was pregnant with Minho's baby. No, not baby. Babies. The ultrasound confirmed it 3 days later. Twins. 2 heartbeats flickering on the screen like tiny stars. I couldn't breathe. I called him. My hands shook so hard I almost dropped the phone. "I need to see you," I whispered. We met at the usual place. A hotel room on the edge of the city where no one would recognize him. "I'm pregnant," I said the moment the door closed. He froze. "Twins," I added. It's twins, Minho." The silence stretched so long I thought he might leave. But then he crossed the room and pulled me into his arms. "We'll figure it out," he said against my hair. "How?" "You're engaged. I'll handle it." But he couldn't. 2 weeks later, I was at the clinic when she walked in. Hey-One. She was more beautiful in person. Tall, elegant, wearing a coat that probably cost more than my entire year's salary. "You're Kemi," she said. Not a question. I nodded, my throat tight. "The nurse who's been screwing my fiancé." The room went silent. The other staff pretended not to hear, but I felt their eyes. "Don't," She stepped closer, her smile sharp as glass. "Do you really think he cares about you? A little African nurse with nothing to offer?" My hands instinctively moved to my stomach. Her eyes followed. And she saw. "Oh my God," she laughed. "You're pregnant." I wanted to disappear. "You filthy little—" "Enough." Minho's voice cut through the air like a blade. He stood in the doorway, his expression dark and dangerous. "Minho," Haewon started. "Get out. She's carrying your—" I said get out. The command in his voice made everyone freeze. Haewon's face went white, then red with fury. "You're choosing her," she hissed. "I'm choosing my children." The words hung in the air. Haewon looked at me with pure hatred, then turned and walked out, her heels echoing like gunshots. Minho came to me, his hands gentle on my face. "Are you okay?" I wasn't, because I finally understood. This world, his world, would never let me be safe. It would never let my babies be safe. Haewon's family was powerful. Minho's enemies were everywhere. And I was just a woman carrying 2 lives that would be targets from the moment they were born. "I can't do this," I whispered. "Kemi, I can't raise them here. They'll never be safe. I'll protect you. You can't protect everyone. Not all the time." He knew I was right. I could see it in his eyes. That night, I made my decision. I would leave. I would go somewhere he couldn't follow. Somewhere his name didn't reach. I would save my sons, even if it meant losing him forever. I booked the flight in secret. But as I packed my bag, I found a note slipped under my door. "You can't hide from us." My blood went cold. I left Seoul at 3 a.m. 1 suitcase, cash sewn into the lining of my coat, a ticket to Lagos via Dubai. I didn't say goodbye. I couldn't. If I saw Minho's face one more time, I would break. I would stay, and we would all die for it. The airport felt like a trap. Every security guard looked like one of his men. Every announcement sounded like my name. I kept my head down, my hand on my stomach where the twins were growing. "Just a little longer," I whispered to them. "We're almost free." The plane took off as the sun rose over Seoul. I watched the city disappear beneath the clouds and let myself cry. I cried for Minho, for the life we could never have, for my sons, who would grow up without their father. But I didn't look back. Lagos welcomed me like an old friend. The heat, the noise, the familiar chaos that felt like home. My mother didn't ask questions when I showed up at her door, pregnant and hollow-eyed. "You're safe now," she said, pulling me close. But I didn't feel safe. I felt hunted. I moved to a small village 2 hours outside the city, a place where no one knew me, where Korean men didn't exist and mafia bosses were just stories from movies. I found work at a local clinic. Simple work, delivering babies, treating fevers. Nothing like the luxury of Seoul. My belly grew. The twins kicked and fought for space inside me. I talked to them every night. "Your father is a dangerous man," I would say, my hands on my swollen stomach. "But he loved you. Remember that. He loved you before he even met you." The birth was hard. 36 hours of labor in a clinic with no epidural, no fancy equipment. Just my mother holding my hand, and a midwife who delivered 1,000 babies before mine. When I heard the first cry, I sobbed. Then the second. 2 boys, perfect, screaming, alive. They had Minho's eyes. I named them Chidi and Eze. Strong names. Names that meant God exists and King. Because they were my miracle. My everything. For 3 years I lived in that village. I watched my sons grow. Watched them learn to walk, to talk, to laugh in that beautiful mix of Igbo and broken English. They looked so much like him it hurt. But they were mine. Every night I checked the locks twice. Every stranger made my heart race. I told myself we were hidden. That Minho's world couldn't reach us here. I told myself we were safe. I was wrong. It was a Thursday evening when I heard the knock. Firm. Deliberate. not the knock of a neighbor. I froze, the twins playing at my feet. "Mama?" And Chidi looked up at me with those sharp, familiar eyes. I picked them both up, my heart hammering. The knock came again, and then I heard it, his voice. Kemi. Just my name. Quiet. Certain. He'd found us. My hands trembled as I held my sons closer. 3 years of hiding. And it was over. How did he find me? And what would he do now that he had? I didn't open the door. I stood there, frozen, my sons in my arms, listening to the sound of my own heartbeat. Kemi, Minho said again. His voice was calm, too calm. I know you're in there. I can hear them. The twins. Chidi squirmed in my grip. "Mama, down," he whined. I pressed my hand over his mouth gently, shaking my head. "Please," Minho said through the door. "I just want to talk. I'm not here to hurt you. Not here to hurt me. But what about his world? What about the people who would come after us if they knew?" "Go away," I finally whispered, my voice breaking. Silence. Then, "I've been looking for you for 3 years, Kemi. I'm not leaving." My legs gave out. I sank to the floor, still holding my boys, tears streaming down my face. "Mama, cry?" Eze touched my cheek with his tiny hand. I kissed his forehead, tasting salt. The door handle turned. Locked. Thank God. "I'll wait," Minho said. "I'll wait all night if I have to." And he did. I put the twins to bed, singing them the same lullaby I sang every night. A Nigerian song my mother sang to me. They fell asleep quickly, their faces peaceful, unaware that their entire world was about to change. I sat by the window, watching the shadow of a man standing outside my door. He didn't move, didn't leave, just waited. By morning, I was exhausted. The twins woke up hungry, demanding breakfast. I made them rice porridge, my hands shaking so badly I spilled half of it. "Mama sick?" Chidi asked, his little face scrunched with concern. "No, baby, Mama's fine." But I wasn't, because I knew I couldn't hide forever, not from him, not anymore. I opened the door. Minho stood there, looking exactly as I remembered and completely different. Older, tired. His suit was wrinkled, his hair messy, but his eyes were the same. They found mine, and I saw everything. Pain, anger, relief, love. "Kemi," he breathed. "Don't," I said, my voice sharp. "Don't say my name like that. You don't get to..." "Where are they?" My breath caught. "I want to see my sons." The words hit me like a punch. My sons. He said it so simply, so certainly. "No. Kemi, you don't understand what you're asking. If you're here, if anyone knows, no one knows." He stepped closer, his voice urgent. "I came alone. I've been alone this whole time. Looking for you. City by city. Clinic by clinic. I finally found a nurse who remembered you. Remembered you were pregnant. Remembered you said you were going home." Tears burned my eyes. "I can't let you see them," I whispered. "Why?" "Because once you do, you'll never let us go. And your world will kill them." He flinched like I'd slapped him. "My world has changed," he said quietly. "Liar. I left the family, Kemi. After you disappeared, I left everything." I stared at him, searching for the lie. But all I saw was truth. Heywan's family tried to kill me for it. He continued, his voice raw. "They burned my businesses, tried to hunt me down. But I didn't care, because you were gone. And I didn't know if you were alive or dead, or if our babies. His voice broke. "I had to find you. So you could take them from me?" "No." He looked at me with such intensity I felt it in my bones. "So I could ask you to forgive me, so I could meet my children, so I could try to be a father." The twins chose that moment to appear. Chidi and Easy, stumbling into the room in their matching pajamas, rubbing sleep from their eyes. They saw Minho and stopped. Time stopped. Minho's face went white, then red. Then he dropped to his knees. "Oh my God," he whispered. The twins stared at him with their father's eyes. "Mama, who?" Ezzy asked, hiding behind my leg. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Minho reached out a shaking hand, then pulled it back, afraid to touch them. They looked just like... He couldn't finish. "Like you," I said. "Everyone here thinks I married a Korean man. I told them you died. It was easier than the truth. What are their names?" "Chidi and Ezzy." He repeated the names slowly, tasting them. "Chidi. Ezzy." Chidi, braver than his brother, stepped forward. "You know Mama?" he asked in broken English. Minho's eyes filled with tears. "Yes," he said, his voice shaking. I'm an old friend." "You cry," Chidi observed. "Yes, I'm very happy to meet you." Az joined his brother, both of them staring at this strange man with fascination. "You talk funny," Az said. Minho laughed through his tears. "You too." And just like that, my carefully built walls started to crumble. For 3 years I'd kept them safe, hidden, protected from a world that would destroy them. But looking at Minho on his knees, looking at my sons touching his face with curious fingers, I realized something terrible. They deserved to know their father, and he deserved to know them, even if it terrified me. Over the next few days, Minho stayed in the village. He rented a small room above the market. He didn't push, didn't demand.
Before you continue, if this story touched something in you, you should know this is only the beginning. The complete version includes 30 full audio stories, more than 30 hours of uninterrupted listening. No ads, no cuts, no distractions. Scan the QR code on your screen, or tap the link in the pinned comment to continue listening right now.
Just waited. Every morning, he would come to my door and ask if he could spend time with the boys. And every morning, I said yes. I watched him learn to be a father. He was terrible at it at first. Too stiff, too careful. The twins sensed his nervousness and tested him mercilessly. But slowly, something shifted. He learned to play their games, to speak their broken mix of languages, to carry them on his shoulders through the village while people stared at the strange Korean man with 2 small boys who looked just like him. "They're smart," he told me one evening. "They ask so many questions." "They get that from you," I said without thinking. He smiled. "You remember." I remembered everything. The way he used to question everything, challenge everything, push until he understood. "Why didn't you come after me immediately?" I asked. "Why did it take 3 years?" His smile faded. "Because I had to make sure you'd be safe first. I had to burn every bridge, destroy every connection. I had to become nobody so that no one would care about you. And now? Now I'm free. No family, no business, no power. Just a man who wants to know his sons. And Haewon married someone else. Someone who could give her family what they needed. She doesn't care about me anymore." I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him so badly. But trust is a fragile thing, and mine had been shattered. "How long are you staying?" I asked. "As long as you'll let me." That night I lay awake, listening to the twins breathing in their shared bed. Minho had given up everything. But was it enough? Could a mafia boss really leave that world behind? Or was I just inviting danger back into our lives? Then I saw it. A black car parked at the edge of the village, watching, waiting, and I realized someone had followed him after all. I didn't tell Minho about the car. Not at first. I told myself I was being paranoid, that it was just a visitor, that not every shadow was a threat. But the car stayed. For 3 days it sat at the edge of the village, dark windows hiding whoever was inside. The villagers noticed. They whispered. They asked questions. "Someone you know?" my neighbor asked, her eyes suspicious. "No," I lied. But I knew. Someone had followed Minho, someone from his old life. On the 4th day I confronted him. "There's a car," I said, my voice tight. "Black, expensive, it doesn't belong here." Minho's expression changed instantly. The softness disappeared. The dangerous man I'd met in Seoul came flooding back. Where? Near the main road. It's been there for days. He cursed in Korean. Stay inside. Lock the doors. Don't let the twins out of your sight. What's happening? I don't know, but I'll handle it. Minho, I promised you'd be safe, Kemi. I meant it. He left. I gathered the twins, my heart racing. They sensed my fear, clinging to me with wide eyes. Mama scared, Chidi whispered. No, baby. Mama's fine. We're just going to stay inside today, okay? Where friend go? Ez asked, meaning Minho. He'll be back soon. I prayed I was telling the truth. Hours passed. The sun set. The twins fell asleep in my arms, exhausted from crying, from feeling my anxiety bleeding into them. I sat in the dark, every muscle tense, waiting. The knock came at midnight. Not Minho's knock. Harder, sharper. I didn't move. Open the door, Kemi. A woman's voice, Korean, familiar. My blood turned to ice. Hey, Won. I know you're in there, she continued, her voice sharp as broken glass. I know my pathetic ex-fiancé is here too, playing house with his little African whore and her bastards. Rage flooded through me. I laid the twins down gently, checked that they were still sleeping, and opened the door. Haewon stood there, immaculate as always. Designer clothes, perfect makeup. 2 men flanking her like guard dogs. There you are, she smiled. The woman who destroyed my engagement. You destroyed it yourself, I said coldly. When you showed everyone who you really were. Her smile turned vicious. Where is he? Not here. Liar. I had him followed. I know he's been sniffing around you like a dog returning to its vomit. Get off my property. Or what? You'll call the police in this pathetic little village? She laughed. Do you know who I am? What my family can do? I know exactly who you are. A bitter woman who can't accept that she was never loved. Her hand flew. The slap echoed in the night. My cheek burned, but I didn't flinch. You think you've won? She hissed. You think taking him away from everything makes you special? He'll get bored. He'll realize what he's lost. And he'll come crawling back. He won't. Because of those children? Those half-breed mistakes? The rage that filled me was terrifying. Call my sons that again, I said quietly. And I will make you regret it. She stepped closer, her breath hot on my face. You've already made enemies, Kemi. My family, his old rivals. People who would love nothing more than to hurt him through you, through them. Is that a threat? It's a promise. You can't hide forever. Eventually, someone will find you. And when they do, they'll have to go through me first. Minho's voice cut through the darkness. He emerged from the shadows, his face cold and deadly. Haewon's guards moved, hands reaching inside their jackets. Don't, Minho warned. His voice was quiet, but the threat was absolute. Haewon turned, her expression flickering between fury and something else. Fear. Minho, you followed me. I had to. You abandoned everything. You humiliated me. You chose her. I chose my family. She's not your family. Those children are mine. The word was final. They're mine, Haewon. My sons. My blood. And if you or anyone else threatens them, I will burn your entire world to the ground. The guards shifted, uncomfortable. Haewon's face went white. You can't. I already did. I walked away from power once. I can destroy it just as easily. My family will. Your family is weak. They needed me to survive. Now they're scrambling to replace me with someone half as capable. I've seen the reports. They're bleeding money, losing territory. In 2 years, there'll be nothing. Haewon looked like she'd been slapped. This isn't over, she said, her voice shaking. Yes, Minho said. It is. Go home, Haewon. Marry your businessman. Live your life, but stay away from mine. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then Haiwan turned and walked away, her guards following. The black car roared to life and disappeared into the night. Minho turned to me, his expression softening. "Are you okay?" I touched my burning cheek. "She slaps hard." "Let me see." He tilted my face to the moonlight, his thumb gentle on my skin. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I thought I'd buried the past deep enough. I thought, it's not your fault." "It is. Everything is my fault. The danger. The fear. I brought this into your life." "No," I said. "We brought this into each other's lives. Both of us. Together." His eyes met mine, and for the first time in 3 years, I let myself feel it again. That pull. That impossible, dangerous love that had started all of this. "I don't want to run anymore," I whispered. "Neither do I. But I don't know how to stop being afraid." "We do it together," he said. "You, me, and our sons. We build something new. Something that can't be touched by the past." "Is that even possible?" "I don't know. But I want to try." Inside, one of the twins cried out in their sleep. We both moved at the same time, rushing to them. Easy was sitting up, tears on his face. Bad dream. Minho picked him up without hesitation, holding him close. "It's okay," he murmured. "You're safe. Daddy's here." The word hung in the air. "Daddy." Easy looked at me, confused. I nodded, tears in my eyes. "Daddy?" Ezzy repeated. "Yes," Minho said, his voice breaking. "I'm your daddy." Easy studied his face, then smiled and buried his head in Minho's shoulder. And I knew, no matter what came next, we would face it together. But as I watched them, I saw Minho's hand tremble, and I knew he was thinking the same thing I was. What if Haiwan wasn't the only one looking for us? We didn't sleep that night. Minho stayed, sitting on the floor between the twins' beds, watching them breathe like he was memorizing their faces. I sat beside him, our shoulders touching. "I was terrible to you," I said quietly, "leaving without saying goodbye, hiding them from you. You were protecting them. I was protecting myself too, from the pain of loving you and knowing it was impossible." He turned to look at me. "It doesn't feel impossible anymore, doesn't it? Haiwan knows where we are. Who knows who else will come? Then we leave. Where? They found us here. They'll find us anywhere. Not if we disappear properly this time." His voice was certain. "I have money hidden. Accounts they don't know about. We can go somewhere new. Start over. All of us. The twins are settled here. This is their home. Home is wherever we're together." I wanted to believe him, but fear is a powerful thing. "What kind of life can you give them?" I asked. "You're not. You don't have a job, a normal life. How do we—" "I'll figure it out. I'll do whatever it takes. Legal work. Honest work. I'll build something clean, something they can be proud of." "You really mean that?" "I've had 3 years to think about what I lost, what I threw away chasing power. I'm not making that mistake again." Chidi stirred in his sleep, reaching for his brother. Azzy's hand found his automatically. "They love each other so much," Minho whispered. "They're all each other had. Until now." He looked at me, his eyes full of something raw and honest. "Can you forgive me, Kemi? For everything. For not protecting you. For not being there when they were born. For—" I pressed my finger to his lips. "Stop. We've both made choices. Some good, some terrible. But we're here now. That's what matters." "I love you," he said. Simple, direct, true. "I never stopped loving you," I admitted. "Even when I hated you. Even when I ran." He kissed me then, soft, gentle, like we were both made of glass. When we pulled apart, Chidi was awake, watching us with wide eyes. "Mama kiss Daddy," he announced loudly. Ezzy woke up instantly. "Kiss? Where?" Both boys scrambled out of bed, demanding kisses of their own. We dissolved into laughter, the tension breaking. For the first time in 3 years, I felt something I'd forgotten existed. Hope. The next morning, we made a plan. Minho would arrange documents, new identities if necessary, a place where Korean mafia and vengeful ex-fiancés couldn't reach. I would close things here. Say goodbye to my mother. Prepare the twins. Where are we going? I asked. Somewhere warm, somewhere safe, maybe South America, New Zealand. I'm still researching. The twins need stability. They need their father, he said. And their mother. Together. Everything else we'll figure out. My mother took the news better than I expected. I knew he'd find you eventually, she said, folding clothes for the twins. A man doesn't look for 3 years unless he means it. You're not angry. I'm terrified, she admitted. But I see the way he looks at those boys, the way he looks at you. That's not a man who'll abandon you again. What if I'm making a mistake? She cupped my face in her weathered hands. You've been carrying this burden alone for too long, my daughter. Let him help you carry it. Let yourself be loved. Tears streamed down my face. I'm so scared, Mama. I know. But fear and love can exist together. You've been brave enough to run. Now be brave enough to stay.
If you stayed until the end, it's because this story stayed with you. What you heard here is just a fragment. The full experience lives in 30 complete audio stories, carefully told with every emotion, every secret, and every moment that couldn't be shared on YouTube. There are no ads, no interruptions, and you can listen anytime, anywhere, in total privacy. Scan the QR code on your screen now, or tap the link in the pinned comment, and discover what was never said.
We left the village 3 weeks later. Early morning, before the neighbors woke, before anyone could ask questions. Minho had secured everything, new passports, plane tickets, a house waiting for us in a small coastal town in Portugal. Portugal? I'd asked when he told me. Far enough, beautiful, safe, and they have good schools. The twins thought it was an adventure. They chattered excitedly in the taxi, pointing at everything, asking a million questions. Minho held my hand the entire way to the airport. No regrets? He asked. A million. But I'm doing it anyway. He smiled. That's my Kemi. The flight was long. The twins slept on Minho's chest, drooling on his expensive shirt. He didn't care. I watched them, this impossible family I'd built from pieces of broken things. A mafia boss who walked away from power. A nurse who ran across the world. 2 boys who looked like their father and laughed like their mother. We were messy, complicated, probably still in danger. But we were together. Portugal welcomed us with sunshine and ocean air. The house was small but perfect. Whitewashed walls, blue shutters. A garden where the twins could play. Home, Ez declared, running through the rooms. Home, Chidi agreed. Minho looked at me, asking the silent question. I nodded. Home. That night, after the twins were asleep, we sat on the small balcony overlooking the sea. Do you think they'll find us? I asked. Maybe, probably. Someone always does. That's not comforting. But this time I won't face them alone, and neither will you. He was right. Whatever came next, Haywan's family, old enemies, new threats, we would face it together. I looked at the man beside me, scarred, dangerous, trying to be better. Thank you, I said. For what? For finding us, for not giving up. Thank you for letting me in, for giving me a chance to be their father. You're not just their father, I said. You're mine too. He pulled me close, and I let myself believe. In new beginnings, in second chances, in love that survives impossible things. The twins would grow up with their father. They would know both worlds, his and mine. They would be strong because of it. And maybe, just maybe, we would build something beautiful from the wreckage. I looked out at the ocean, vast and endless. Somewhere in the dark, danger still waited. But tonight, we were safe. Tonight, we were home. And for now, That was enough. Sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night, and I check the locks twice. Minho says I need to trust that we're safe now, that the past can't touch us. But I see the way he watches the street when we walk the twins to school. The way his hand tightens on mine when a black car drives past. We built something beautiful here, but beautiful things attract attention. If you were me, would you ever stop looking over your shoulder? Can a man like him ever truly escape what he was?